All right, in this episode, I'm going to talk about another battle rap technique. Definitely better to call this a technique than a rhyme structure because it doesn't really have anything to do with the writing, but rather kind of how he performs this material. So this is a very popular clip where Bill Collector does his super duper scope bar. So I'll go ahead and play it and we can talk about it after.
Nah, cause it's super sweet bread, Q. You rapping Cinnabon. Super duper duper scope. Hit you from the synagogue. Yo, hit you from Singapore. Hogwarts.
So there's a lot going on in this clip. Black Ice Cartel does tend to kind of like put on effects on their videos, which I've never been a fan of. But the effects that they put on the video have nothing to do with what's going on in the battle. The only thing that they really see is that Bill Collector is rapping. He goes out into the audience. He continues to rap in different parts of the audience. Then he brings it back to the main stage. And really, he was able to create a moment. People still talk about this moment. But how did he create that moment, right? It wasn't the writing, right? It wasn't just, super duper scope hit you from Hogwarts, hit you from Gryffindor. If he stood there where most people expect battle rappers to stand and delivered the same material, delivered it with the same amount of energy, I'm sure it would have hit with the crowd, but it would not have hit as well with the crowd, and it would not have been the moment that it was. So really, the thing that differentiates this moment from a lot of other potential battle rap moments was that he did something that people don't expect battle rappers to do. Like in our mind, we have this expectation going into a battle rap. You're going to expect that you're going to see two battlers on stage. You're going to be in the crowd watching them. But when you're watching a battle and that battler starts going out into the crowd and doing things in the crowd, then that becomes more of an interactive experience and something that you don't always see. Now, interestingly enough, the first time he actually did the super duper scope bar was not in that battle. It was in this battle, I think, with John Don, which was in 2012. But I don't feel like it created the same moment that it did when he did it at Black Ice Cartel. And the reason for that, if you look around, you can see that there's really not a lot of places for him to go. Now, I do think he maybe could have had the opportunity to get behind, the group of people on the right and maybe do the super duper scope from behind them. But when it comes to the actual execution and the way that they filmed it, so the bar here does land, but the actual execution of it is not quite as unique. So that actually kind of shows you the difference between performing something where you're going out into the crowd and actually kind of going beyond what the crowd expects to see in a rap battle versus doing kind of the exact same thing, but in a more conventional way where all you do is stay on stage. So again, my goal is being able to create things that are reusable. This is very reusable. All you have to do is go out into the crowd or just do anything that people don't expect from a battle rapper. There's no rule that you can't go out into the crowd, but most people just don't because we kind of have in our heads all these conventions of what we're supposed to do, how we're supposed to do them. But really, moments like this come from stepping outside of that convention. There's a lot of things you could potentially do in the crowd. There's a camera guy right behind him. He could easily do something with the camera. He could take the camera. Now, I highly advise that you don't do things like that without getting consent from the person that you're interacting with. But my goal is to try to get battlers to think about, okay, what are other things I could do similar to this that aren't, exactly this? It's also worth noting that the material that Bill Collector wrote gave him a reason to be in the crowd. He didn't just go out into the crowd and rap some random bar. The bar was basically about him shooting from different areas, so that gave him a reason to go into different areas of the crowd to kind of visually represent what he was saying. If you have not seen the battle already, definitely go check it out. It is a great battle between QP and Bill Collector on Black Ice Cartel. And stay tuned for another episode.